$15 million is what this massive mistake is costing us. Meanwhile, our front office is staring down a multi-million-dollar decision that could totally change our future. And there's an all-pro cornerback on the market who might just be the missing piece we need. 3 explosive headlines that Cowboys and Eagles fans absolutely do not want you hearing about. If anyone thinks this organization is done making moves, they're flat out nuts. Stick around till the very end because what's coming next is going to blow your mind. And I'm telling you this, after today, you'll see exactly why this franchise is finally set up to win. After years of watching this front office make decisions that literally made us want to rip our hair out. After entire seasons of wondering if we'd ever get a group up top that actually knew what they were doing. Adam Peters showed up and proved yes, you can build a winner in Washington. And just when we thought things couldn't get any better, we're staring at a problem that, honestly, I want to have Deebo Samuel out here playing like he's 25 again. The guy San Francisco tossed aside, the receiver everyone said was done, that he had no focus left, that all his best days were over, is right here in burgundy and gold, making everybody eat their words. Peters sent over just a 5th-round pick, 5th round, for a player who's on pace to top 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Do you realize how much of a steal that is? But here's where it gets interesting, and trust me when I say this is about to spark debate. Samuel's in a contract year. The guy knows every catch, every yard after contact, every touchdown, that's all adding zeros to his next paycheck. And us, as Commanders fans who suffer from this team letting talent walk or overpaying scrubs, now we've got the opposite issue. We have a player who's worth the money. Here are the numbers that'll keep Adam Peters up at night. $84 million in cap space for 2026, but only 34 players under contract. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, let me tell you, when you gotta re-up Laramie Tunsil, when Frankie Louvu is going to want to get paid after the year he's having, when Darren Payne deserves an extension, and when Jaden Daniels is up for an extension after 2026, that 84 mil starts looking real small, real fast. So here's my first question to you. What would you do if you were Peters? Do you hand Deebo a 2 or 3 year deal knowing it'll probably be his last big payday in the NFL? Here's what I think. If Samuel stays on this level, if he finishes the season with more than 1,000 yards and helps get this team to the playoffs, you cannot let him walk. This city's lost enough talent through the cracks. Compare this to what the Cowboys did. Jerry Jones let Amari Cooper go because he didn't want to pay him. And look at the now 0 true number 1 wideouts. The Eagles paid A.J. Brown, and as much as it hurts to admit, that move is keeping them competitive. We've got a chance here to do the right thing, to hang on to a key piece as we build around our franchise quarterback. And you know what's even crazier? Samuel's not just balling out. He's mentoring our young receivers. I see him out there working with Luke McCaffrey, talking to Olamide Zacchaeus on the sideline after every drive. This dude's not just here for a check. He wants to be a part of something special. After what happened to him in San Francisco, basically getting shown the door, you better believe he's got something extra to prove. Let's keep it real. Samuel's pushing 29. He'll turn 30 next season. Historically, wideouts who rely on athleticism and versatility start to fall off at this age. But check the stats. He's averaging 87 yards a game, 3 touchdowns, and we're using him in a way that maximizes his strengths and limits the wear and tear. Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn nailed the assignment. So here's my question for you. If you had to pick, would you pay Samuel or use that money to bring in an elite free agent cornerback? Because that's the real crossroads Peters is facing. You can't have it all, not with the salary cap. And I truly believe this is the decision that'll make or break our next 3 to 7 years. The Niners thought they could let him go without consequences. They figure with Brandon Ayuk and all those offensive weapons, Samuel was expendable. Look at them now struggling to keep their offense clicking, while we've got their X-Star lighting it up at FedEx Field. Poetic justice? Oh yeah, but here's the real genius. Peter set up this roster with enough flexibility to make this decision. We're not trapped in any of Rivera's trash contracts. We're not dealing with dead cap nonsense. This is an org finally running like the Eagles, like the Niners, like the winning franchises in this league. And when I say keep Samuel, I'm not talking 5 years, 100 million. I mean a smart, front-loaded deal that gets us production now, while Jaden's on his rookie contract, and lets us get out after 2 years if we need to. That's what good front offices do. And for once, we have one dotted that shocks you. Wait till you hear this. Let's talk about Emanuel Forbes. And trust me, this is one of those stories that makes me want to shout from the rooftop here in the DMV. For 4 full years, we had to put up with Ron Rivera's decisions. A guy I love and respect for what he did in Carolina, but who just never figured out how to build a winner in Washington. His worst move, the one that kept me up at night, that made me yell at my TV every Sunday, was drafting Emanuel Forbes in the 2023 draft. You remember that day? Because I'll never forget it. We had pick 16. Christian Gonzalez was right there, dropping like a rock literally, the kind of corner you build a whole defense around. And what did we do? Rivera, being stubborn like only he could, decided Forbes was his guy. The War Room video came out later, and you could see on his face there was no way anyone was changing his mind. Bill Belichick, who's forgotten more football than most of us will ever learn, saw it too. He traded with the Patriots, dropped down one spot, and still got Gonzalez. And you know what? Gonzalez just got named second-team All-Pro his second year. Meanwhile, Forbes didn't even last 2 full seasons in Washington before Adam Peters said enough and cut him no ceremony. No second chance. Just gone. The Rams snapped him up right away. Through the summer, there were positive reports. Forbes looks different. He's stronger now. He's finally starting to get the game. And I was sitting back thinking, well, maybe a change of scenery was all he needed. Maybe we just didn't know how to develop him. Maybe Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. weren't the right coaches for him. But after 5 weeks in 2025, same old problems? Forbes can't get off receivers. He loses every 50-50 ball. His tackling is a WFUL. And against the run, don't even get me started. The guy plays like he weighs maybe 150 soaking wet. Thursday night against the Niners, it all blew up in real time. The Rams lose in overtime, and their secondary gets torched. And guess who is public enemy number 1? Emanuel Forbes, allowing a perfect passer rating of 158.3 whenever he got targeted. For those who don't know, that means it's literally impossible to play worse as a quarterback. And here's the part that makes me laugh, but also makes me mad. The Rams are paying out his first-round salary, which this year is around $15 million when you count signing bonus and base salary. $15 million to learn what every Washington Commanders fan already knew. Emanuel Forbes is not an NFL cornerback. Sean McVay, a coach I respect the hell out of, took a shot on Forbes. Thought his staff and his system could pull the potential out that Rivera saw. I don't blame him. Whenever a first-round pick hits waivers, you gotta at least kick the tires. But sometimes, guys just don't have what it takes. What really hurts? This one decision from Rivera cost us years of being competitive. While Gonzalez is out there as one of the best young corners in the league, we had to watch Forbes get targeted over and over, saw offenses scheme him up, saw our defense crumble because of a gaping hole at corner. Now, quick question. How many games did Forbes cost us during his time here? How many losses came down to a play he missed a tackle, blew coverage, or got flat out burned? Here's my answer. Too many. Each of those? Missed opportunities, another step away from winning, another year wasted. The Rams dropped his snap count from 60.7% in Week 4 to only 27.9% in Week 5. That's not a gradual drop. That's a collapse. That's a coaching staff saying, we blew it. This is not working. We gotta change now before we lose the season. Compare that to what the Cowboys are doing with Trevon Diggs post-injury. He struggled, but Jerry's so invested in the pick, he just keeps giving more shots. The Giants and their secondary? Don't get me started. They've got their own issues. But at least, thanks to Peters, we had the guts to admit a mistake and move on. That's the real lesson. Blowing a first-round pick is devastating. It's not just a guy you missed on, you lost a player you could have had. Wasted years of development, lost salary cap room, lost credibility with the fan base. That's why the draft matters so much. That's why you can't marry yourself to a single prospect dot. So here's a question. Do you forgive Rivera for this pick, knowing all the good he did changing the team culture? For me, I'm split. On one hand, Rivera brought stability after years of chaos. On the other, this one call set us back years. The Rams will learn this the hard way. And honestly, I don't feel bad for them. They took the risk, ate the salary, and now they're learning what every Commanders fan already knew. Emanuel Forbes is not the answer. Never was, but even that's nothing compared to what's next. Now let's talk about what's had me obsessed for the last 48 hours. Rumors flying, the insiders talking, and one name keeps getting linked to our Commanders. Riq Woolen, Seattle Seahawks. Before anyone calls me crazy or says I'm making up some wild trade, let me explain why this makes all the sense in the world. First, our current corner situation. After the mess with Forbes, after seeing our secondary get picked apart in the first 5 weeks, we all know corner is an urgent need. It's not a luxury. Not something for next year's draft. We need it now. If we want to make an actual run at the playoffs, Benjamin SD just has been solid. Don't get me wrong, but you need TWO elite corners in this modern league. Look at the Niners with all their offensive firepower. Look at the Eagles with a Jay Brown and Devonta Smith. Even the Cowboys when CeeDee Lamb is healthy. Every NFC East squad can light up a weak secondary, and we've been exposed. Enter Riq Woolen, Pro Bowler as a rookie in 2022. Let me repeat, Pro Bowler as a corner as a rookie. That's insanely hard. This isn't some project. This is a proven player at the top level. Seattle's in a tricky spot. Woolen's in his last year of his rookie deal, looking for a big extension. Seattle's up against the cap, got other guys to re-sign. And here's the key. If they don't think they'll pay him, better to get something for him in a trade now than watch him walk for nothing. Alex K from Bleacher Report said 2-day 3 picks could land him. Can you imagine? 2 late picks for a 26-year-old Pro Bowler who's holding offenses to 61.1% completions this year. Not all pro numbers, but solid, especially compared to what we've had. But here's my concern, and I want to be dead honest. Peters has traded away a lot of draft capital this year. Sent picks out for Deebo, traded up and down during the draft, been aggressive building this thing. When do you say enough and protect your future picks? Because day 3 picks may seem small, but that's your depth, your special teams guys, your developmental projects. And money. If you trade for Woolen, he'll want an extension ASAP. He's not coming here for a half-season rental, then hitting free agency. He wants security. What's it cost? My guess, given the market, it'll be minimum 15 mil per year, probably closer to 18 if he pops off this season. Takes us right back to the Deebo Samuel problem. Can you afford to pay both? Can you pay Woolen Samuel, extend Tunsil, get Louvu his payday, and still have breathing room for Jaden Daniels' next deal? I think it's possible, but it'll take phenomenal contract juggling from Peters and all. Now let me ask, if you're the Seahawks, why are you willing to move a corner who's playing 97% of the snaps? That makes me nervous. When a team's letting a starter walk, there's usually something there. Is it inconsistent play? Money demands? Or do they know something about his game that we don't? Compare this to what the Cowboys should have done with Byron Jones. Let him walk. Their secondary never fully recovered. Eagles, on the other hand, paid Darius Slay, and that move locked down their secondary for years. We have a chance here not to mess it up like Dallas, but to get it right like Philly. What excites me most? Woolen in this Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. scheme. He's got the physical build Quinn loves, the speed to play man coverage. And Witt has a history of getting peak performance out of his guys. See what he did with Kendall Fuller here. And in Dallas, dot my rhetorical question. Is it worth the risk? Worth 2 day 3 picks and maybe a 70 to 80 million contract for a corner who's had an up and down year? Here's what I think. If you believe this team can win now, if you think Jaden Daniels is the truth and the window's open, you go for it. You trade and don't look back. Because in the NFL, timing's everything. Windows close fast. Look at the Rams after the Super Bowl. Had to rebuild. Look at the Eagles after 2017. Took years to get back in the hunt. If you've got a rookie QB balling and the cap space and a smart front office, you go aggressive. Rumor has it Seattle might deal Woolen before the November 5th deadline. That's a month to evaluate, see if we're legit contenders, then pull the trigger. If we're 7-3 or 8-2, how do you not make the move? But if we're 5-5, maybe keep the picks and focus on the draft. Final take. Woolen's no guarantee. But neither was Deebo. And look how that turned out. Peters has earned the benefit of the doubt. If he thinks Woolen elevates this defense from good to great, I trust his call. Because finally, we've got a GM who gets it. My last question for you is simple, but huge. Do you use those picks to chase unknown prospects in the draft? Or bring in a proven player who can make an immediate impact? That's the decision Peters will have to make. And honestly, there's no wrong answer. It's all about philosophy, timing, and how much you believe in this season. The one thing I can tell you is this. If this trade goes down, if Riq Woolen suits up in burgundy and gold before the deadline, that's a massive signal. That means this franchise is all in. We believe in Jaden Daniels. We believe in this staff. And we're finally ready to go toe-to-toe with the big dogs in this conference. So there you have it, a multi-million-dollar Deebo dilemma we're lucky to have. The Rams paying the price for our past mistakes. And a legit shot to see a Pro Bowl corner in burgundy and gold before the season ends. First question, do you give Deebo Samuel his money? Or use that cap space on multiple defensive pieces? Let me know in the comments, because this call is going to shape the next 3 years. Second question, do you laugh or cry watching Emanuel Forbes keep struggling in LA? Because honestly, I'm doing both at once. Comment if you think he'll ever figure it out, or if Rivera just totally whiffed. Third question, do you pull the trigger on Riq Woolen now, or wait for the draft? This one has me stumped, so I need your takes. Because you guys, Commanders Nation, always bring up things I haven't even thought of. But the main thing I want you to take away, for the first time in years, these are the conversations of winning teams. We're not talking about tanking, not about 5-year rebuilds. We're making the kind of moves playoff teams do. Do you realize how rare and special that is? For too long, we were the laughingstock of the league. For too long, we watched the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants make all the moves while we sat around and did nothing. But Adam Peters flipped that script. Dan Quinn flipped that script. Jaden Daniels flipped that script. And we, the most loyal fan base in football, finally have something to get hyped for. If you're getting value from this, if you're learning something new about your team, I need you to do 3 quick things. 1, hit that like button so YouTube knows more Commanders fans need to see this breakdown. TWO, make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow's video is packed with more explosive news, including a possible trade involving our O-line that you will not want to miss. And 3, share it with that friend still stuck in the Rivera era because they need to see just how bright our future is. We're more than a YouTube channel. We're a family. We're the community of Commanders fans who don't settle for average, who demand excellence, and who finally have an organization living up to our standards. Every single one of you who comments, debates, or just hangs out on these videos makes this special. And I promise I'll keep bringing the deepest analysis, the realest takes, and the best content on OUR team. The next few weeks are going to be huge. The deadline's coming. Our schedule gets tougher, and every move Peters makes will be under the microscope. But I trust this front office. I trust this staff. And most of all, I trust you, the best fan base in the world, to keep the vibe strong as we take on what could be a truly historic season. And remember, hail to the Redskins!